Hello, my name is Mike Donnell, and this is my final video paper for the class. I'm actually going to read the paper and as my submission. So here it goes. Um, I did my paper on for the country manager simulation. I did it on the tooth paper for Venezuela. Here it is. The country manager simulation was one of the most valuable projects I was able to participate in while continuing my education. The ability to make decisions based upon the information given to you and then see how my decisions altered the startup of a business was nerve wracking yet exciting. I enjoyed the ability to change approaches or let things ride out to see what effect this could possibly be on a business. Although, based on my profit margins, it seems as though I did not always make the best decisions, but I've definitely learned from every week's simulation. When looking over the documentation about each of the countries and their current toothpaste product saturation within the country, it was noticeable that Venezuela was not as saturated as other markets. At this point in the assignment, no other competitors other than the local brand were in this market, so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to break into the country. Also, Venezuela, although was experiencing a decline in GDP growth, it was not as much of a decline as some of the other Latin American countries. Also, the GDP growth was looking like in the near future it was going to make a substantial increase, becoming the highest GDP among the other Latin American countries. Also, Venezuela was experiencing the highest population growth. I decided to start a marketing campaign that was geared towards the families of Venezuela with the economy style of toothpaste. This was an adapted promotion. I felt that created an adapted ad would benefit the marketing of the product so that it was geared towards the country rather than using a standard ad. Later, I would change the ads to continue to reach different populations. I also decided to keep production in Venezuela. To be honest, I did not realize that we were stuck with the plant location we selected. And when looking at it more closely, this was not the best choice for the company. And ultimately was one of the reasons contributing to the lack of success of All Smile. Finally, my initial product mix was economy toothpaste in medium for both paste and gel, as well as healthy toothpaste in small paste and kids toothpaste in small paste. All of these were in the tubes. I felt that based upon the needs of Venezuela by researching the country, that the mix of toothpaste, that this mix of product was the best choice. The target market was those families looking for the economy toothpaste, followed by children and those looking to increase dental health. I did take a risk, however, in distribution. I started distribution in the hypermarket and web. I thought the hypermarket would yield a good result as there was a projected 10% growth in this channel. Where I took the biggest risk was using web-based as my other distribution channel. Although there was a projected 10% increase, the web market was non-existent there. I was taking the risk hoping web brought products would increase, but this was not the case. I would later change my approach, but this was my initial strategy. Important changes. One of the first changes I made was in the second week I changed the distribution channel. I took away the web-based and it added the traditional distribution channel. I also changed my advertising approach and created a new ad. Finally, I decided to branch out to another country, Mexico, and added new campaigns targeting families and kids. The reason I made these changes was first, I saw that the risk on the web-based distribution was not working. It was evidently clear based on the lack of sales in general. I decided that the traditional distribution would yield the greatest results. I also decided to change up the advertising, although I think I may have jumped the gun on switching this because one of the main reasons I changed it was due to the lack of sales. But I think I should have given it a little more time with the changing of the distribution channel. I also decided to start a new ad campaign rather than adapt the one already in place. And this was because there was just not a lot of other companies in the market. And I thought it might be best to start fresh because maybe what was working in other countries may not have been working for Venezuela, which could be one of the reasons why there was not a lot of saturation in the market. Also, the reason I decided to add another country was because I was preparing for the possible failed market attempt in Venezuela, and I wanted to enter the market where sale potential was better. There was a huge growth in sales after doing this, but my margin was down. This was because my pricing was wrong. I was not given enough of profit margin to the products, which was not realized until later in the project. Of course, I made some other changes along the way, but one final change was that was different than my initial approach, was deciding to pull out of Venezuela. During period 5, I noticed that Venezuela was still producing a negative contribution and that it did not seem to be increasing. At that point, I decided that the Venezuela market was not good for the company at this time. During period 6, I made the decision to abandon my initial target country and just focus on Mexico. Obviously, this meant I was selling less units for this period, and I took a huge hit on the amount of sales, but rebounded significantly in period 7.